Mr. Mendez will come and inform you of some things.
Good evening and welcome to Vision Christian Academy orientation. And for those that miss it, if they tell you they missed it, they don't know what's going on. This is going to be live streamed on YouTube for those parents that aren't able to be here tonight. And so let me introduce the teachers that we have this year. For our K3 through K5, it will be Mrs. Roy. If you'll stand and wave at us, that's Mrs. Roy, and you'll want to take your kindergarten, your K3 to K5 to her classroom and get to meet her there. And then for our first through third grade classes this year, it'll be Miss Dahlman. And you'll want to go to that, again, the preschool building over to the right, and you'll want to meet her and leave your supplies and meet with, she'll have some things there for the young kids. And then Mrs. Dahlman this year is going to teach our 4th through 6th grade. She will start the year there until we find a new teacher, and if we don't, she will be there all year, but we're hoping to find a teacher yet, and she will be doing that 4th through 6th grade and the office. So she's got her hands full. It's not that we don't want her to stay as a 4th or 6th grade teacher. We just don't want to overload her. And then Mr. Dahlman will be doing from 7th through 12th grade, and that's Mr. Dahlman down there. So if you have a child in high school, he will have the homeroom for the high school, and they're on these classrooms to the right. If you have any questions about registration or payments or anything like that, and you want to see Mrs. Dahlman, her classroom is the first classroom on this end. That's where she'll be at. She will not be in the office tonight because she is teaching 4th through 6th. And then Pastor Schaefer will be teaching also our 7th through 12th grade. He'll be doing Bible, and he'll be subbing when needed. But he is a 7th through 12th grade teacher. Mr. Carlos Vallejo, where is he at? There he is. And he will be doing 7th through 12th grade and coaching. He does the PE classes. And this year we have some exciting things to announce, but I'll wait for that. And then Mrs. Zambrano is our teacher's aide. Where is she hiding? She's back there. And she helps out, and she does everything that needs to be done, whether it's cleaning bathrooms or taking the kids out and tutoring. She does it all. And so that's good. And then I will be the substitute teacher this year, and they gave me a class today. I thought I was just a substitute teacher, but now I have a class. So I will be doing that this year. Everybody wants to call it a Christian school, and that's good. But during a devotion this week, someone brought up the fact that instead of a Christian school, why can't we have a Christ in school? And I would rather have Christ in our school than be called a Christian school, because I want Christ to be with us each and every day and with your students, because he is the answer for everything. And so that's the education we're offering, Christ in education. And so our office hours will be from 8:25 to 9 o'clock every morning. If you need a different hour, please make an appointment with Mrs. Dahlman. She is teaching, so it will be difficult for her to swap around during the day, but maybe she'll see you after school if you make an appointment with her. Chapel is on Tuesdays at 8:35. That's when chapel starts. Just this year, just like last year, if you are tardy, we're going to ask that you bring your child to the auditorium, bring him inside the chapel and drop him off. Please do not drop him off the gate. There's nobody out there to monitor him. They cannot go to the classrooms first because the classrooms are locked. For safety, we don't want children left by themselves in the classroom. And so make sure they are in the auditorium, and they can leave their backpacks out there in the vestibule, and there's nobody in the classroom. And my note to myself is the easiest thing to do is just be on time on Tuesdays. And that way you don't have that problem. Just like last year, phones and smartwatches are to be turned off and turned in upon entering the school grounds to the teacher monitor. We will have a monitor every morning. When they come into that gate, if they have a smartphone, if they have a phone or a smartwatch, they need to turn it in. And you ask me, why is that necessary, Mr. Mendez? Is because our children are smart enough, and Satan is smart enough to let them know how to use their phones to get all the answers. And we have had a problem with that. Yes, Christian children sin. Unfortunately, so do Christian teachers. So we want you to know that if you do not want us handling their phones, then leave them at home. That's the answer to that. Okay, tonight teachers will have a list in their classrooms for you to set up a home visit. They would like to come by and meet you at your house and just discuss your child with you, and so you guys can get to meet each other, exchange phone numbers. When you call them, you know what the face is like on the other end of that line. It's not a surprise. You've met that teacher. If you don't meet them, then you don't know what they look like. Okay, and they want to meet with you and pray for your child at that time. I want to do it within the first 2 weeks of school. I want to get school started and going, and I want you guys to be as comfortable with us as we want to be with you. So that list will be in their classrooms tonight. So if you would please write down your preferred time and date, that would be much appreciated. After school care is available, please see Mrs. Dahlman. The cost is $5 per hour per child. If you need before school care, you'll have to see me, and I will work on arranging something to work for you. And we do have some thoughts. We do have something to do, but right now we don't have a teacher that is willing to do before school care. Please note that when teachers give your child a deadline, it is not a request, it is a deadline. So if their book report is due on January 1st, they're not asking you maybe get it on January 1st. Starting January 1st, my students last year would lose 10 points every day they were late. And so they're not requests, they are deadlines. Please be mindful that your child takes care of their textbooks. They have a way of tearing them up. They throw them in their backpacks. They don't place them in their backpacks. And so pages get torn off, they get lost. And they come to school and we tell them, read page 69, and they tell us, I don't have a page 69. My book goes from 68 to 71. Well, it had one. Well, yeah, it might have had one, but we don't have one now. And so if they get damaged to the point where it's a problem, we will send you a bill for a new book and we will buy one for them. Okay? And I don't know that ESA will pay for replacement of books. They may not. If you get a paper that's sent home to be signed, please sign it, don't initial it. Young people, especially junior hires and high schoolers, are very good at forging your initials. It's a little harder to do your signature, but yes, think back when you were that age. How good were you? Now some exciting new things going on this year. They will have piano lessons. Mrs. Zambrano will stand at the back of the auditorium. There's a chair, there's a table back there. First come, first was to sign up. We're only going to offer them on Thursdays. ESA will pay for piano lessons. Okay, and the school will bill you for them. Please see Mrs. Zambrano. She will have a list for you to sign up. She will explain what the cost is and all that good stuff. It will be taught by Kayla Zambrano, who played the piano for us last year, graduated last year. She's been teaching piano for a number of years, and she can do it. Another exciting new thing for our junior high and high schoolers, we will have a soccer team this year. and we will be playing in a league. And they will have a basketball team also. Now, 6th grade through 12th grade. Yes, Rudy, you get to play soccer. And so you will need, what will be required for you there is they will practice from 3:30 to 5:30. Oh, I have to make 2 trips to school. Well, welcome to Parenting 101. Yes, you'll have to come back for them at 5:30. Or stay with them. And that practice will either start on Tuesday, if we have enough students that have their requirements. And what are the 3 requirements? One is that they have a physical signed by a doctor saying that they are physically able to play, that they will have cleats, and that they have shin guards. Now, the shin guards probably won't be needed the first few days, but as soon as you can get them, that's when you want them. Mr. Alejo will make the decision whether it's Tuesday or Thursday. We will not practice on Wednesdays. So I don't get asked that question 20 times a night. We go to church on Wednesdays. Well, so do we. And so there'll be no practice on Wednesdays. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then we will start playing league games. I believe we have 8 soccer games scheduled. And then basketball is like 14 or so. We will be playing our home games somewhere near the church. We haven't secured a playing field yet, and our home gym will be played at the Evangelical Church. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but it's on 29th Avenue in Polk, and that's where I went to church a few years back, and so that's where we will be playing in their gym. PE uniform is a solid red t-shirt and knee-length black loose-fitting shorts. Ms. Dahlman has t-shirts and emblems for purchase, $3 for the iron-on patch. If you buy the t-shirt with them, it's $10 more with the emblem for children's sizes, and then $12 for adult sizes. Okay, so the shirt is one cost and the emblem is another one. Okay, just so that we're clear on that. And you can see Ms. Dahlman, and she will fix that for you. Please give them more than one shirt. I have to smell them in the afternoon when they come in from PE. And on Thursday, they can get pretty bad. And we will also be having PE for our 4th through 6th grade class this year. They will have a scheduled PE time, not just recess. So that'll be something new that we're doing. Parents attending field trips are to follow school dress codes. That means a shirt, dress pants for men, skirt and dresses for women, and field trip participation is limited to enrolled students only. And that is this year's especially important because we have 50-some students. And our staff hasn't grown that much, and so we have a lot of children and not a lot of staff. Please follow our no pet rule on school grounds. If you bring a pet, please keep it in your car and do not let the students handle it. Oh, my dog does not bite. Well, when it bites that student, their parents are going to be awfully upset at you because they sat in this auditorium and they know that I told you, do not let them pet your pet. Okay? So puppies bite. Dogs bite. Please let us know in advance if your child or your children will be absent so we can prepare homework assignments. We don't want them to miss their homework. And we will, if you're going on a trip somewhere and you know you're going to be gone, let us know and we will give you a list of homework assignments that you can get done while they're gone. Okay, we have a knee-length dress code for our female students. And Mrs. Dahlman and the ladies will be enforcing this. I want you to know that. Please note that if your child violates this, they will be given 3 options that morning. Option 1 is to change it in the proper skirt that you have provided and you have it here at school somewhere. maybe in their cubby hole. Option number 2 is change into the skirt that the school provides. And no, we do not give them an ugly skirt, but it may not be the perfect size. Okay, it'll be one that we buy. We have some on hand that they can borrow. Third one is change into the skirt that you are going to bring them from home when we call you. And at that point, they will stay in the office until you get here. Okay, so there's no question on that. Knee length, and knee length means knee. Everybody has a knee. We're not talking about 2 inches above the knee. We're not going to argue about the final decision is Mrs. Dahlman's. Okay? You may think, well, that's long enough. That's fine. You can think that. Final decision is Mrs. Dahlman. Now, when we get to talking about boys' haircuts, final decision will be mine. Okay? Box Tops is offering a Box Tops app, much easier than you saving the Box Tops and bringing them to us. Just snap them on your phone and scan it, and they have a place where you can send them for our credit, and then they will send us a check about every 90 days. And sometimes it's a little one, sometimes it's a little bit bigger one, but it is something. And then we have another fundraiser in coupon books, and when they get here sometime in the next 1 week, Mrs. Dahlman says, we will be sending them home with your children. That's a way for us to raise funds so that we can provide new equipment, fix things that need to get fixed, but it also, they get prizes for selling them and for doing things like that. We have a list, We have a list of incomplete registration items that are still needed, ready by next week. So if there's something missing out of your registration packet, somewhere between tonight and next Friday, Mrs. Dahlman will write you a cute little note and tell you, okay, this is what I need from you. Maybe she needs a copy of a birth certificate. We have copiers here. Maybe you need an immunization record. Maybe you didn't tell her who could pick up your child. And we take that very serious. We just don't turn your child over to anybody. If you did not tell us they could go with them, I may know that that's their grandfather, but I don't have your permission. We will not send your child home with their grandfather. We don't know what's going on, okay? And so you would appreciate that if you're stuck in one of those ugly court battles, and you may get angry if you're not, but I will protect your child first. For those of you that are new to ESA, if you haven't taken care of your bill and you have questions on how to do it, I will be in my office right after the meeting. Stop by. I will either help you to do it, I will be showing someone else how to do it, but I can give you any help you need on those. I've done enough of those, and I know how to put them on there, but you should have all received a statement by now, and if you haven't, please see me and let me know that you've not received your statement, because the email address you gave us is the one we sent it to. I want to go over some highlights of our handbook, and so those of you should all have one. If you don't, then I don't know what, Mr. Dahlman has some in the back. If you need one, those of you, you're agreeing to this handbook by enrolling your child. And so I highly recommend that you know what's in the handbook. This is the biggest complaint I get from parents. I never knew that was in the handbook. Well, you told me that you were going to read it, because I asked you to read it during orientation. And so I'm asking you to read it. So I want to look at page 6 to begin with. And it's demerit accumulation. If you earn more than 35 demerits in a semester or 70 demerits during the course of the school year, your child will be strongly considered for dismissal. That is probably the worst thing I have to do in my job. That is one part of my job I do not like. I love your students. I truly do. I don't think you can have a student that will tell you that I've ever not loved them. And so I want to keep it that way. Uh, the teacher will tell your child that they received a demerit. You will get a demerit slip to sign, and you'll have to return it to Mrs. Dahlman, and we will know that you received that demerit. Remember I talked about that forgery? If you know your child is getting demerits and you're not getting demerit slips, guess who's signing your demerit slips? Okay? So I don't think I have to tell you. Intentional disobedient demerits have the weight of 4 demerits. We take intentional disobedience very seriously. That has not really been a problem here, except in 1 or 2 cases, but most of the time it's never a problem where they do it intentionally, but they do it. Cheating. Yes, your best students cheat. Uh, I don't understand it. When we had COVID 2 years ago, I had a child that went from a B average to a D average. And I asked him why. And he said, well, when I had to take tests, in order to cheat, I had to go find the answers. Now that you give me an open book test during COVID, I don't go look for them. So actually his cheating helped him because he was learning the answers and write them down. But we do not allow that. We ask that your students show proper respect by saying yes, sir, no, ma'am. We're addressed as Mr. and Mrs. Or Miss. You're not allowed to call me by my first name. That's how it should be. Parents can, but not students. They will show respect towards each other by not pushing or shoving or being just being unkind to each other. We want a Christian environment where your child can come and be prepared. Very important to us that your child is prepared. I chose a theme this year for our parent-teacher orientation, and I'll share it with you. And it is, there is safety in the Lord. And it was based on Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. I want them to have a safe place here. And so I ask that our students be kind to each other. We don't want them, no bullying, no talking about guns or shootings or stabbings or your house is going to burn down. We don't want any of that. There's no place for that here. If your student are responsible for any intentional damage, yes, I know that kids can play and they threw a rock and it broke one of our glass windows. If they were intentional, we're going to send you a bill. Okay? If they were unintentional, they tripped and fell into it and broke it, that happens. We understand that. Boys are not allowed to wear items of jewelry such as necklaces, bracelets, or earrings. One or two masculine finger rings are allowed, and wrist watches. Now they have this new thing where they call them purity bands, and they will be allowed. High schoolers like to do this. They will be allowed to wear one of those. One. Okay. Girls' makeup must be modest and never worn in excess. Girls are not allowed to wear makeup until 9th grade. Teacher discretion concerning modest makeup is final. And that will come from our female teachers. I will not discipline your girls for makeup. Steps in discipline, the teacher will talk to your student. The teacher will talk to the student again and then notify you if it's a continual problem. And if it continues, then there'll be a conference between the parent and you at school and the teacher. And then the final step is then they will be brought to me and I will have a conference with you, and we'll decide what we need to do to correct that. And so I trust that that will never be a problem. Chapel. Chapel is very important in our school. And so you are always invited to attend chapel. It is 8:30 a.m., 8:35 a.m. every Tuesday. And the first one, and we do the pledges at every chapel. On the first chapel of the month, we sing the Star Spangled Banner. Is that correct? And then we teach them how to sing Christian songs. And then we have a message from a local Baptist pastor. So you are more than invited to see what we are teaching your child. On page 11, no bullying, no harassment, no intimidation. That is just should be standard. And on page 12, I'm sorry I haven't been giving you the pages. If your child is driving to school, we ask that they read this section, and then the most important thing is that they let us know that they're going to drive their car on campus. Because then we're going to make sure that you have insurance, that they understand where to park, they understand that the car is not a fun toy that they can be playing out in the parking lot. And we'll ask you parents that are still young at heart, think they can speed through the parking lot. Please do not speed through the parking lot. There are children in the parking lot. Yes, they will have homework. On page 15, we expect you to have them do their homework. And so usually on Mondays, they get a list of their homework for the week. And so if you're going to do something with a family on Tuesday night, and you know they're not going to have much time for it, maybe you ought to have them start doing it on Monday night. And so that Tuesday night, they will be free. Early departure, if you want your child to leave early from school, and this happens from time to time, we ask that you notify us so that they can be ready and they're not scrambling at the last minute, or they're out to PE, or their teacher's busy giving a test. Please let us know in advance that you are going to leave early that day. Please, important, if you give us a cell phone number, give us one that you're going to be available at. We need to have someone's number to call in case we need you. If there's a problem, or your child falls and gets hurt, we want to know how to reach you. And so please give us a good number. And then on page 17, there's a thing on illness guidelines, and it kind of tells you what to do if your child has a fever or chicken pox or whatever they have, and you can kind of decide what to do. We ask, like if they have a fever, we ask them not to come with a fever to school. Please wait till it's broken and they've been free from that. And then on page 19, another big change, we have gone to a new grading system. Our grading system was every six points. Everybody else in the world, it was 90, every 10 points. So we've gone to the 10-point system, and so you will see it on page 19. They have a new grading scale. And then we just ask that you let your kids know, please take care of the property when they are here. We ask them to turn off the light in the bathroom when they are done, just like you ask them to do that at home. Put trash in the trash can, not just throw on the floor. There are times, you parents that know me, I give candy to kids when they walk by my office. And if they throw their trash in front of my office, the next morning when they come by for their candy, there is no candy because I have to pick up trash. And they learn really fast not to drop trash off in front of my office. Now, sometimes they drop it off at the door, and I catch them at it. Then they don't get no candy either. But please teach them how to protect our stuff and keep our property in good looking care. And that is all I have for you tonight. Now, I will, again, if you need any help with your ESA, if you have any questions on why you haven't received your billing, my office is in that hallway to the right. The bathrooms are right across from my office. I will be in there to help parents that need help with their ESA payments and learn some new tricks on it this summer. And so if you need help, you need it explained to you, I will help you with it. Thank you very much. Let me pray, and then we will go to our classrooms. Father, thank you for your goodness. Lord, I thank you for these parents that you've given us. Very important part to us that we have parents that love you, that want the best for their children. Lord, we want the best for their children. I pray that our staff would have a heart like Jesus, and that they would know that these are your children, Lord. They don't belong to these parents, they belong to you, and we should respect them because they do belong to you. Thank you, Lord. Take us safely now, in Jesus' name. Amen. You are dismissed to the classrooms. Take care, meet your teachers. And if you need my help, come by my office. I will be in there.